Mira allá, mira el quemado.
Less than 24 hours ago, the Trump administration launched a large-scale strike in Venezuela, seizing President Nicolas Maduro. Welcome to 12 News at 10. I'm Chase Golightly. New video just within the last few hours after Nicolas Maduro and his wife touched down in New York. You can see in the video he was walked inside the DEA office in Manhattan. He was then processed with fingerprints and photos. Emotions running high across the world after Maduro's capture. Many people in other countries are celebrating the fall of the dictator. In Colombia, Peru, and other countries, people celebrated in the streets. In Miami, demonstrators were elated.
After years without any good news regarding our country, this feels like the light at the end of the tunnel.
We're very hopeful. There's still a lot of work that needs to get done, but we're still extremely excited and hopeful, and praise God that finally justice is coming.
But that wasn't the sentiment for others in the U.S. We're hearing mixed reactions across the valley about the U.S. operation in Venezuela. Some Arizonans are protesting the strikes like you saw there, while others are praising the U.S. for their actions. 12 News journalist David Chazanov joins us live in studio after hearing from both sides of the argument tonight. And David, it really is a controversial situation here.
Yeah, it really is, Chase. Good evening. So the Secretary of Casa Venezuela, Arizona says what the U.S. did was an extraction, not an attack. But dozens of people were still out in Phoenix this afternoon protesting what they're calling a war.
Stop this war before it starts!
Stop this war before it starts!
I don't want this war. I did not vote for this.
On Saturday afternoon, Arizonans of all ages gathered at the Wesley Bowen Memorial Plaza in Phoenix to chant against the U.S. strikes.
No more planes and boat attacks!
No more planes and boat attacks!
Honestly, I was in shock. It felt like I was taken back to 2003 when George Bush had broke the news about the Iraq war.
The group also marched to the Arizona State Capitol.
The people united!
I would just say not in our name, not in the American people's name, not in the name of freedom or democracy. This is a war for the rich.
Though not everyone feels that way. Jose Ferrero with Casa Venezuela, Arizona says what the U.S. did was an extraction, not an attack.
This is one of the steps to get proper transition to real democracy and liberty and justice.
Ferrero says for 2 years, many Venezuelans didn't believe Nicolas Maduro deserved to be president.
Edmundo González Urrutia, he won by a landslide, 7 million votes against 2 or 3 million votes from Maduro. We kept saying Maduro is the president of Venezuela, but for us Venezuelans, we know he's not the president of Venezuela. I mean, he just stole that election in 2024.
Ferrero believes the actions made by the U.S. can lead to a proper transition of power in Venezuela for the first time in more than a decade.
And what we're seeing right now today is probably a restoration of the people's will.
And demonstrations didn't just happen here in Arizona. There were also movements in more than 100 cities across the country. The Answer Coalition, we're told, is hosting a webinar tomorrow to build what they call an anti-war movement. In studio, David Chazanov, 12 News.
David, thanks. Tonight, we're learning new information about the family who died in yesterday's helicopter crash in Superior. The FAA says all 4 people on board died after a witness reportedly saw it hit a slack line and crash. The victims included the pilot, a 59-year-old man from Queen Creek, along with 3 female family members of his, identified as 2 21-year-olds and a 22-year-old. Now, a family member, Elizabeth Gallup, confirmed to 12 News that her uncle, David McCarty, her cousin, Caitlin Heidemann, and her 2 younger sisters, Rachel and Faith, were all aboard the helicopter when it tragically crashed. We've reached out to Pinal County authorities to confirm the identities of those aboard the helicopter, and we haven't heard back at this time. Well, we're in January, but you never really feel it with the mild temperatures that we have. Of course, we have some clouds in the sky, but meteorologist Chris Dunn joining us right now. Chris, can we expect some rain, snow in the high country? Can we get more into this winter vibe here in the valley?
Yeah, it's going to take some time, and I think by the end of the week, yeah, we have to wait that long, we'll start to feel more like January around here. The average is 66 and 45. 40s, that's pretty chilly. It's been a while since we've been in the 40s. Today, 70 and 53. Another mild morning, and with the cloud cover, we'll stay pretty mild in the 50s overnight. We're at 63 right now, which is pretty close to the average high for this time of the year. Dew point at 50, and that's going to keep the heat in overnight. 54 for the morning low tomorrow. Sunrise at 7:32. Back to the 70s tomorrow afternoon, and that is above average. 66, the average high for this time of the year. We will be below average coming up in the 7-day forecast with a little bit of a chance of rain and snow. Chase?
Looking forward to it, Chris. Thanks. We all know the world-famous Rockettes and those iconic leg kicks. For years, one Valley girl has watched them from home, dreaming of what it would be like to dance just like them. And thanks to Make-A-Wish Arizona, she didn't just watch them live, she got to become one for a day. 12 News journalist Maria Stobbs has the story.
Whoa, girl, what?
Moves like this are second nature for 12-year-old Lily Santisi.
That was impressive.
I'm better at the splits.
After all, she's been dancing at this Peoria dance school since she was just 2 years old.
I just like how fun it is and like the people I do it with.
Until she was diagnosed with bone cancer in the fall of 2024.
It was scary because I didn't know what cancer was at first.
She endured months of treatment.
It was harsh. Like, it made me sick and like it hurt.
And surgery to remove part of her femur, forcing her to miss 2 seasons with her dance team.
That was like hard because like I love dancing.
That's when Make-A-Wish Arizona stepped in.
She pretty much knew that she wanted something to evolve dancing or around the Rockette. So luckily we were able to partner with our chapter in New York to make Lily's wish come true.
Months after finishing treatment, the nonprofit flew Lily and her family to New York City over the holidays for a private backstage dance lesson with the Rockettes.
5 and 6.
They were really nice. Like the choreography was like harder and like the kicks were really fun to do, but they were hard.
So how did it feel to be alongside these women who you've watched every Thanksgiving?
It felt like really cool and really special to just like be there with them.
1, 2, hold 3.
After training, she watched them perform in the Radio City Christmas Spectacular.
It was so cool. There were like so many like cool dances and costumes.
And by the end of the trip, she came home with some new moves of her own.
And then like we did like a bunch of like these turns.
A sparkly souvenir.
They gave me this really cool shirt and it's really cool. It has like bedazzles.
And some valuable words of wisdom. Did they give you any sort of advice on how you can become a Rockette one day?
They gave me like just like keep following your dream and like just have fun with it.
In Peoria, Maria Stobbs, 12 News.
Lily's family says she's hoping to return to dance classes later this year, but for now, she's continuing to build her strength through physical therapy.